Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about ADHD and how I was on Adderall for years and I thought it was helping me focus, but actually it was making me feel more disconnected, impulsive, and constantly crashing. And what finally changed wasn't a new prescription, it was removing everything that was numbing me. So I was caught in a cycle. Much like many of us are, of impulses and acting on them, along with some mind-altering substances, processed food, and all of it was just hijacking my nervous system. I'd spike in the morning, and I'd crash midday, and then I'd spend the rest of the day chasing clarity I never really had. Even on Adderall, I couldn't finish things, I couldn't focus, I couldn't listen, I couldn't sit still without being stimulated. I was constantly getting up and down from my desk, trying to focus on spreadsheets, and I blamed myself for years, and I just kept upping the dose of Adderall, thinking that more would help. Turns out my system was just overloaded. So here's the kind of crazy thing, is that I really kind of accidentally found out that I could cure this by myself, because being diagnosed 30 years ago with this, I thought it was something I was just going to have for my life. I'm ADHD. There's no way I'm going to be able to fix this. But about a year ago, I got diagnosed with something else that I talk about in other videos that I was put on some prescription medication for that I was not having any part of, the side effects that came with that. So I completely revamped my diet and started following a mucus-free, vegan, plant-based diet. I quit caffeine, I started meditating, moving every morning, practicing yoga, and I basically went to war on dopamine spikes, but the whole time I was still taking Adderall. Over the course of the following months, from when I really kind of adapted this new diet and this new morning routine and protocol, of which I will make other videos about, all of a sudden I noticed the Adderall wasn't working as well, and it was almost having the opposite effect. Until one day I took it and I was like consciously aware of how it was going to kick in. And about 30 to 60 minutes after I took it, I just completely crashed. And I spent the rest of the day just trying to keep myself out of bed, literally trying to keep my eyes open. Like, I was struggling. That's when I did a little research and found out that because I had a pure, clean body, that prescription pills like that could actually have an opposite effect, or a undesirable effect on my body. That was definitely not desirable. So right then and there, I gave it up. So at that point, I had quit caffeine. I had quit alcohol for years before this. I had quit all junk food and no stimulants and was having a full clean body. And then all of a sudden the clarity started to come. And obviously getting the caffeine and the Adderall out of my system took some time, but little by little my focus started to come back. And more than that, I started to feel peace. Like real mature peace was coming over me, to where my mood was being stable and I wasn't getting as upset about things that I was before, and life's insurmountable hurdles were just seeming smaller and smaller. And I wasn't just experiencing energy, I was experiencing calm, grounded energy. So now it's been months. I haven't touched Adderall, haven't touched caffeine, and I no longer need that chaos to feel alive. I have been more focused now than I've ever been in my entire life. Even when I was a teenager and I couldn't sit still and I was shaking the barracks, was shaking my foot. I'm sure you know who you are. And it didn't come from a bottle. It came from taking full responsibility, no longer lying to myself. And I found out that, wow, if I fully clean my body out, I could heal myself from all kinds of symptoms, even accidentally, that I didn't know that I was going to be able to heal. I was fully intending on healing something else, and this was an awesome side effect of just eating clean. Please stay tuned, because in following videos, I'm going to be showing my daily protocol, my routines that I do in the morning to set myself up for a good focus today. Although it doesn't need to be followed rigidly. It's not a crazy dogmatic type practice, and I'm not one of these militant people that has to do the same thing every day. A routine is nice, but I mean, case in point, I've been talking about starting a YouTube channel for years. I wasn't actually able to sit down and focus long enough to do it until I quit Adderall. Go figure. So just remember that I'm not a doctor and I'm not giving advice, and this is just my personal experience and what worked in my body. I'm just sharing what worked after 30 years of being out of sync. And go ahead and subscribe, because I'm going to be sharing all of this stuff, getting it all out there, everything that I've done to make myself feel better, the routines, the practices, the symptoms, how I've overcome them, all through clean eating.